up, y'all? So this is a life lesson that I'm learning, and I feel like I'm like mastering in a sense, is that everybody isn't going to like what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. Sometimes people expect you to operate out of who they have known you to be and who they expect you to be. Being that they may not like what you do, that does not mean that you shouldn't do it. In addition to that, I want to say this. How God is moving in your life, how God is redefining you, that's going to look different to so many people, let alone to yourself. There's going to be moments where you don't even know what's taking place in the renovation. You don't even know what's happening. It's uncomfortable, and it's just going to be very new and different. Not only to you, but those connected to you. Glory be to God. It is your job to stay connected to the source and do what needs to be done. Doing what needs to be done is not going to always win the approval of those connected to you. Hear me so clearly. Sometimes in life, God is going to move in such a unfamiliar way that you really just not going to know what's going on. And I'm really speaking from experience, because this past year, y'all, like, listen, this past year has been such a challenge for me. I literally am here making this video because God has kept me. But there has been so much I have experienced that I'm just like, it's just a lot. But I really want to encourage you, if you connected to somebody and they are experiencing like some sort of transition, whether you're familiar with it or not, you don't have to agree with the transition, but just respect it. You don't have to agree with the shift, but just respect it. You don't have to agree with how they navigate their lives, but just respect it, because sometimes we can view things so much out of emotion that we'll miss the big picture. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so glad that the Bible says true transformation, I'm paraphrasing, but true transformation can only happen when you have a renewed mind. So in order for you to experience transformation yourself, you must constantly be open to a renewed mind, a new way of thinking, a new way of making decisions, a new way of viewing things. You know what I'm saying? And for the people that's going through the transition, don't stop what you're doing because you don't have on the sideline. Sometimes it's going to be like crickets. Sometimes working for God, doing the work of God, sometimes it sounds like this. Sometimes it's pure silence. Why? Because not everybody is going to understand and or agree with what's taking place in your life. We have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with people not understanding. We have to be okay with people not agreeing. Sometimes in life, it requires you to say, okay, I'm going to put myself first on this one. There's been a time in my life where I felt guilty for putting myself first. Not to suggest that you don't care about nobody else, but to say, you know what, I'm going to cater to myself real quick. You know, because sometimes we'll be so busy catering to other people's feelings, how they'll feel about it. No, sometimes it's like, okay, what about how I feel? You get what I'm saying? Let me just step back and cater to me real quick. Let me step back and catch a grip on life real quick if I can. Like, let me just get myself together, because sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm not strong enough to always put on that happy face and, oh, okay, like I'm fine. No, sometimes I'm in shambles and I want to be alone and get myself together. You get what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share that with people that are the one going through the transition and you like, oh, but I just feel so bad. No, sometimes you got to put yourself first and take care of yourself. Because if you do not take care of yourself, how can you be the vessel that God needs you to be in this world effectively? How? If you constantly pouring and you're not taking time to step back and gather, stop, rest, renew, so that's for my people in transition. Go through it, endure. Sometimes you're going to go through it alone because people are not going to understand. People are not going to agree, and that's okay. That is okay. But as long as you stay faithful to the test, God got you. And you run your race, God got you. Run your race. Period. And for those witnessing those going through transition, you may not agree, but respect it. Because what God is doing in their life, he didn't tell you. He told them. So you're not going to get it because he didn't tell you. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get it because it's not your vision. You know what I'm saying? It's not your race. So just support them, love on them, and respect the craziness that they are enduring. Respect the changes that they are enduring because it gets real. And for the people, once again, for the people in transition, like, be sure to communicate, hey, I'm going through this. I'm going to need my time, you know, because that's something and that's for myself because I didn't communicate. And I didn't communicate because sometimes I don't want to make excuses, but I'm just saying what's real. I didn't communicate because I just was like, I just don't feel like saying nothing. Like, I just don't feel like talking to nobody, you know, like it was just so crazy to the point where I was just like, I just don't want to, you know. So just be sure to communicate with those connected to you. Hey, I'm dealing with this. And for the people witnessing those that are connected to you that are going through transition, you're not going to get it. You're not going to always get it. Just be sure to keep an open mind and respect their transition.